Hey everyone! So today I'm going to talk about the brushes that I use for different kind of blushes. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the one that I use the most. So usually I use powder blushes, and when I use powder blushes, I always go for my Bobbi Brown blush brush, which looks like this. It has a pretty long handle and it's like a rounded shape and it's kind of flat if you look at it sideways. So this is the one that I use almost every day. And the brush is quite dense, as you can see, and I've been using this for at least 3 years already. So I have to say that the quality is pretty good. The hair never really shed it during these 3 years, and I wash it about once every 2 weeks. So that's pretty good. It's worth the money. I think it was about $60 or $70. And the bristles are very soft. So when you apply it to your face, it doesn't scratch your skin. So how I do it is I just lightly dab it onto my blush and then I apply it in the shape of an 8, number 8. So usually when I apply it, I kind of tense up my muscles around the cheek area like this, and then I do an 8 shape starting from the apples of my cheeks all the way to the end here like this, and then I blend it out. So the next one is my Bobbi Brown cream blush. So for all kinds of cream blushes, I use a stippling brush to apply the product. I have this one here from Etude House. It's a Korean brand. This brush here, it's quite stiff, so for different kinds of stippling brushes, some are softer and some are stiffer. For example, my MAC 188, this one compared to the Etude House, the length is almost the same, however there's less hair, it's smaller for the MAC one. And also the main difference is that this is a lot softer, so when you push it against your skin, you can see that it's softer. But I like to use a stiffer one so that it can actually pick up the product. So how I do it is I just dab it on the product and then I just stipple it on my cheeks like so. And I always do it at a slanted angle upwards so that it elongates my face. You can also just apply it onto the apples of your cheeks if that's how you like to apply your blush. So next up, for my mineralized blushes, this one is the MAC Stereo Rose. I like to apply it with a slanted brush. This one is from Makeup Forever, but you probably can't find this exact one anymore because I think they changed their whole line of brushes earlier. I bought this a long time ago, so you can use any kind of slanted angle brush. So for mineralized blushes, I like to use this kind of brush to apply it. So basically you just pick up product and then you also apply it like a slanted angle. This is the best brush if you like to elongate your face, especially if you have a more rounded face shape. This is great because you can apply it like this. It's easier than like a rounded shaped brush. And then for blushes that are very pigmented, for example the NARS ones, I'm not sure if all their blushes are that pigmented, but the ones I have from NARS, they're all quite pigmented, except for the ones that are in palettes. So I'm only talking about the single blushes from NARS. This one is Torrid, and I used a silver Sharpie to write the name on the package because they all look the same and you can't see through the lid here, so I just wrote it here. Basically, this is a powder brush, so you could use the Bobbi Brown brush or a slanted brush to apply it, but because it's so pigmented, if you're not careful enough or if you have a heavy hand, then you could easily over apply the color on your cheeks. So for people who would like a more natural finish for their blushes, and also for this kind of blush, I would use like a MAC 188 stippling brush to apply it, because you can pick up the product and slowly build up the color until you're satisfied with the color of the blush on your face. So that's how I would do it for pigmented blushes. And also I forgot to mention that for cream products like the cream blush, I would use a synthetic bristled brush to apply it. So the Etude House brush that I mentioned earlier, this is made of synthetic bristles. And I think for the MAC stippling brush, it feels like it's not synthetic, but I'm not sure. But definitely for cream products, even for cream eyeshadows, I always use synthetic brushes to apply it. And lastly, for blushes that don't have much color to it, for example, my Shu Uemura M Peach 44 blush, this is a very light peach color, so it really doesn't have much color unless you apply a lot of it, which I have to, or else you can't really see the color. So again, I can use the Bobbi Brown one, but I would prefer one that's smaller, a brush that is smaller and very dense, one that has a lot of hair, so it will pick up more product. So I would just pick up the product all over the brush and focus it on the apples of my cheeks first, and then slowly blend upwards. So I find that it's easier to apply the color onto my cheeks with this brush. This one is MAC, I think it's 108 or 109. I'll post the name and number of the brush below later, because I bought this a long time ago and the number and the name already faded, so I can't really see. And also this brush can be used for applying bronzers, works really well as well. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, please comment below.